Hi, Sally Walker here, your hormone and slow age expert. And let's talk about menopause. Let's talk about the 3 phases of menopause, as I like to call it, because there's a lot of confusion when we use the word menopause. What are we really talking about? Okay, so there are 3 phases. We've got what we call the perimenopause, then we have menopause. that's like a stationary you've done, and then we've got postmenopause. So we've got the years before menopause. So what is menopause? Menopause is when you haven't had a bleed for 12 months, and that's it, you're done and dusted. But then you've got these years before that point, and then you've got the years after that point. Okay, so let's have a look at the perimenopausal time, because this is the transition period where your ovaries now are beginning to produce less hormones, especially the hormone estrogen. Now, this is a very stable decline, and it usually starts somewhere around late 30s, beginning of the 40s. That estrogen gradually declines from month to month, and you don't notice this until you get to a point where estrogen levels are low enough for many of the cells in the body to start complaining. Then you have the other hormone. So the other hormone is called progesterone. So this is a little bit more dramatic, because progesterone is produced in the ovaries if you have an ovulation. So that means it's actually produced in the little follicle where the egg has popped out, and this is now called the corpus luteum. If you don't have an ovulation, you don't get to produce lots of progesterone. So you don't get to balance the amount of estrogen that's being produced. So we get this imbalance, and this can give these estrogen dominant symptoms like heavy bleeds, tender lumpy bumpy breast tissue, mood changes, etc. Okay, now progesterone doesn't have this sort of stable decline, gradual decline. As I said, it's turbulent. 1 month you'll have an ovulation, the next month you don't. Then you have an ovulation, then you don't. So we've got this dramatic change in these hormones, the balance of the hormones. So 1 month we feel great, the next month we're completely PMSy and crazy, and the husband's saying, who the hell are you, where's my wife, and all this kind of thing. So it's the progesterone which makes the turbulence, if you like. But at one point, your level of estrogen will be so low that those cells will start complaining. So you're going to get different symptoms like drying out, and you're going to get joint pains, and your mood's going to change in a different way. Your memory's going to go, and you're going to get brain fog, and all these different things, which are all more related to the low estrogen. So the hot flushes are also related to the low estrogen, but they could be the low progesterone. So that's a little bit of a problem symptom. So you need to sort of work out where you are in your cycles. So this would be good, ladies. So if you are in those perimenopausal years, this could be anywhere from the age of 40 plus, then I would say the best thing you can do is get one of these apps, or get a piece of paper and a pen and start plotting your cycle. Your first bleed day is the first day in your new cycle, and there are roughly these 28 days. Okay, so we've got these 28 days where progesterone will normally, if you have an ovulation, be produced from around day 14, 15. Okay, so if you start going loopy after day 14, 15, then it is possible because you didn't have an ovulation that month, or you'll notice that some months you just sail through and you feel great, and then you have months when you don't. Okay, so start doing that, ladies, because that's going to be a really good way to get an idea of what's going on with your cycle in your perimenopausal time, and you may want to support progesterone in that time. Then we get to the time where the hormone production of estrogen, this extra hormone production, will stop, and you won't get ovulations anymore, you won't produce eggs, so you won't get any more progesterone, and this is where you get to the point where your bleed will disappear completely, and you will get to that point which is called menopause. I don't really know why they call it menopause, because it's not pause, it's stopped, it's not coming back again. When we use the word pause, we tend to think, oh, we're having a little break and it'll come back again. It's not coming back, ladies. That's it, you're done and dusted. There is a third hormone, which I didn't talk about, and that's testosterone. So testosterone doesn't normally go out of balance until maybe mid to late 40s, and it's not all ladies that notice a drop in testosterone. Now, testosterone is the hormone that gives us a little bit more power. It definitely gives us a little bit more sex drive, where estrogen is the passion hormone. This is the one we need to feel passionate about anything and everything, but also about sex, where testosterone is the driver. Yeah. So some ladies suffer with it and some ladies don't. But yeah, so they're the three hormones which can be out of balance in your perimenopausal time. And then you get to that point where you've gone 12 months without a bleed and now you're menopaused. Done and dusted, as I call it. And then you've got the next bit, which is post-menopause. So what's this all about? Well, post-menopausal years, the golden years, as I call it, the Chinese call it your second spring. So these are the years now where you've got to get used to living without about 70% of your estrogen production. I have an article down there which is called The Future You Without Estrogen, which will give you a long list of all the symptoms which are created by low estrogen. Okay? There are particular symptoms which are created by the turbulence in the perimenopausal years, but there are many symptoms which are created by the low or the drop or the lack of estrogen in the postmenopausal years. Now, the Chinese say it's your second spring, you're born again, you've got your new life going on, and if you want to get most out of this life, if you want to be physically, mentally, emotionally strong, passionate, etc., then possibly supporting estrogen is going to be your best move. But anyway, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about replacing estrogen in one of the other videos. And there's all the information down there below. So go down and have a little read and have a look at that. Happy hormones, happy life.